Welcome back to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour. In this episode, as always, we're talking about the challenging issues related to advanced age, chronic conditions, disability, and unexpected illness. Today's episode has been devoted to talking about the business of dying and those uncomfortable issues that we're reluctant to visit ahead of time.
And I'm your co-host, Tim Takacs, and back with us for our final segment is Dr. Nikkalynn DeLaurentis, who is the Palliative Medicine Specialist at AseraCare Medical Director for AseraCare Hospice in Clarksville. So let's get to it, Doctor.
Right.
We were at your first segment. You were talking about the team. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what the hospice team does.
Right. So the hospice team consists of a whole range of folks. You have the medical director. It's very much a nursing-driven model. So you'll have a nurse case manager. If you get enrolled on hospice, the nurse will come to the house, and it's dependent on your needs. Some people might have a terminal illness, but they're doing relatively well, and so the nurse can come every week, sometimes every 2 weeks. As your symptoms progress, the nurse can come 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes every day if need be. We also, or hospice also offers home health aides, which will come and help get you cleaned up, get you a bath, help the caregivers with some of those activities of daily
All the
living.
more reason for people to do this earlier instead of later, right?
Well, right, because then there's also more. One of the other hospice benefits is a social worker, which helps see, do you have veterans benefits that you haven't accessed, help you arrange your funeral, help you get in touch with some of the other guests that have been on the show to help make arrangements. Yeah. There's also a volunteer coordinator, and there's a spiritual care coordinator, which helps deal with any spiritual angst. Now, some people think, oh, I don't want you to come sell religion to me, but it's not that. The spiritual coordinator doesn't do that. If you're Catholic, they may get in touch with your priest. If you're Baptist, they may get in touch with your pastor. So, and then there's a volunteer coordinator. So this team gets together every 2 weeks to talk about every patient.
Right, and this is a Medicare hospice benefit. People do not have to pay for it.
Correct, not a dime. And your Medicare hospice benefit pays for every single thing associated with that. Every pill, every wipe, every phone call, every single thing.
Right.
Yeah, and some of our most amazing thank you cards have been, I can't believe how much money, was saved.
Right.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, I was a nurse, and I worked for a home care company. And one of the rules about home care was that you have to be homebound. But that's not a rule for hospice, is it?
No, it's not. And some people say, I'm not ready for hospice because I want to go out and about. By all means, we will help you go out and about if that's what you want to do.
Because it is all about the quality of your life, these days that we may not know the number of, but we want to make sure that you're living them to your fullest, right? I know it sounds like I'm a hospice sales rep, but I very much appreciate the services hospice provides our clients.
It's important to know because some people think that we're going to put them in a bed and put people on morphine and send them out. And if your goal is to get out and you still can, we're going to support you in that goal.
Okay, so let's move ahead a little bit in time. And okay, so now it's the person is dying and they're near death. What happens then? So, from the time that they basically, draw their last breath to, the immediate aftermath.
Right. So I'll back up just a little bit. Sure. One of the things that hospice does is help the patient, help the family prepare and understand what is happening. So even in the peri-death period, the team is educating on what to expect, so there are no surprises. And so when somebody does pass, the nurse will come out and pronounce and help clean up the body.
So pronounce like it's literally like the shows, the medical shows in sort of ways.
You put your stethoscope and listen for a heartbeat and listen for respirations. And some people, if they've had time to prepare, will have picked out an outfit. And so it is a sacred time if we are able to appreciate it. And so, the nurse will help get a person cleaned up. The hospice I work with happens to be in the We Honor Veterans program, and so if someone was a veteran, they'll be draped with an American flag, and we've had some really touching moments to see that happen.
So at death, almost immediately at death, that's when the flag comes out.
Get cleaned up and get draped with the flag, call the funeral home, and so there's no coroner, there's no flashing lights, there's no trauma associated with it. It can be really beautiful. And the funeral directors in town have told us, boy, you can really tell the difference between when you're picking somebody up who's been a hospice patient versus just picking somebody up, you know, who's passed.
Mm-hmm.
I almost forgot what I was gonna ask, but you're speaking about the hospice services as if it always happens at home, but it doesn't. There's different settings for hospice services as well, right? So people.
You are absolutely correct. Hospice will go wherever you are, in the hospital, in the home, in the nursing home, in the veterans home. This is your Medicare benefit that you've paid into your whole life. And the federal VA is very pro-hospice, encourages our local veterans homes to collaborate with local hospices. And so anywhere you are, you can receive hospice services if you're eligible.
So is there a residential hospice? I understand that some hospice companies have a residential hospice. Does the government also pay for that?
So yet another show. I know there is one that's very big in Nashville. A lot of people are familiar with Alive Hospice. There is not a hospice home currently in Clarksville. They're hard to stay funded.
Stay funded.
Frankly, that's my understanding.
Yeah, because my understanding is that that's not something that the Medicare benefit pays for. It's like room and board that hospice really does not pay for.
Right. I think the most successful hospice houses have a foundation or a trust that helps support them.
Okay.
All right. We're getting close to the end. We've got about a minute left. Any final words?
30 seconds left. Okay. And they literally, okay, so go ahead. Final words. 10 seconds.
Oh gosh. What I would love.
Start early. Start early.
You want people to plan early and pick their providers and get hospice information when they need.
Yes, don't be afraid. Don't let that visceral fear of the word hospice scare you away.
All right, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching.
And you can check out our resources at our website, www.tn-elderlaw.com. Tune in next time when we continue to talk about the issues related to aging, disability, chronic illness, and unexpected illness. Thank you.